Great morning. It is Tuesday, October 2nd. Okay, let's see what we have in store this morning. Okay, in this morning we have, potential. Okay, the potential. What is the potential within you? You know, when you really delve deeply into your inner being, what is the potential there? Everyone has potential within them. Everyone has the same seed of life within them that animates your being, that gives you this life energy. Okay, so this is about activation, activating that great mystery within. You know, if you really want to know God above all things, you really want to know the mystery of the universe, it's possible. It's possible, but one has to be ready to delve into and trust the great mystery of life. So it's a long journey. It's a long journey to get to that point that, yes, I see you. You're just going to have to give me a second, okay? It's about trusting the great mystery, you know, and along the way, really, if you have an activated Kundalini, then you really need to have a lot of trust, because it's like my book says. My book's called Kundalini from Hell to Heaven. First you access the muck. You have to go through, wade through all the sludge, and it's got to, you know, the energy brings all this stuff up from the subconscious to be looked at. This is where we come into serpent, or AKA Kundalini. Kundalini, the activation of that. I say it's like the roto-rooter of consciousness. Okay, so you have to traverse all of these different lands and realms. The first one is fight or flight, just basic feelings of life or death. Okay, that's where you first enter. Then you go through the sexual drama and realm and all of that. You go through the power structure. You go through, you know, what is speech. You know, you are what you say. You are watching whatever you say is like a mantra. Okay, so all of these different levels and realms one traverses through. Okay. Will you quit? Give me a second. I see you. Yes, today you're going to the puppy spa. Sit over there. Oh my God, he's being a pest this morning. Okay, so people that want to enter the realm of being able to do divination, etc. Here's a card of divination. A part of it is being able to, you know, if you have walked through the path of Kundalini, you've walked through the subconscious, and you've gone through all of these things and cleaned it all out, then you know exactly how the mind works, you know, how it works, how it affects emotions, how it affects the form, you know, and then at that point you can become a keeper of knowledge. Okay, you can become one of the keepers. And this is like, you know, you enter into the cave of subconscious and you bring these things forward. Okay, it just comes when you've finished and completed that path. Then these things come to the forefront. Okay, it's just known. Okay, and then you enter, you know, when you have completed that, you enter the realm of Nine of Water, or joy, the joy. You know, you enter that peace which passes understanding. Okay, but it's a very long journey, okay? Again, I don't advocate it for people that are not grounded, not centered. If you are in, schizophrenic, something like that, this is not a path that you want to enter because, again, when Kundalini awakens, when it awakens, you start hearing the nod, the different sounds of the different realms of states of consciousness. You start hearing, you start seeing things. I know the first sounds that I heard, it woke me up in the middle of the night, and it was sounding like hundreds of birds in a tree. I was married at the time. This is way, way back, okay? And I told my husband, what those birds, I wish they'd shut up. I can't sleep. He goes, what birds? It's the middle of the night. There are no birds, okay? Well, I was hearing birds, okay? So you hear, again, a lot of different manifestation of birds and all just drum and all sorts of manifestations that happen. Again, you'll see something called the blue pearl. If you're not seeing this blue, and it's a nice bright blue, and it's in your vision, they call it the blue pearl. It's a blue light, round blue light, and you'll see it for months on end. You can't get rid of it. It's there. Okay, it's there in your vision. You'll see the blue pearl. You'll start having shifts. You'll be very, all of your senses really heighten and awaken. It's very difficult at that time to go out. I remember going, when that stuff started really opening, you go to a restaurant, you can hear what they're saying in the kitchen, and it's just like so loud. You walk, and remember being in San Francisco, and some of the buildings are built on a roller system now because of the earthquakes. And you walk into a building, you feel like it's going like this. You can barely walk. Nobody else is aware of anything, but all of your senses are so heightened. Okay, and you go through the mind thing. The worst thing is going through the mind. Anything that you are fearful of will come 100% at you. And you have to go through that, traverse it. You will go through the point of, you'll feel a great evil come. And you have to learn how to navigate through it. Not fighting it, not loving it, not giving it. You have to give it absolutely no attention. And so it dies from lack of energy, because it wants to feed off of people's, this is how these things latch on to people. They latch on to people and feed off of their energy. Okay, so you give it no energy, and it has to, eventually it will go. But I mean, during these times, I remember in my own journey, being in the middle of the floor, I'm surprised my hair didn't turn white. Because, I mean, when you see this evil come, I mean, you are terrified. But it's all these things you have to walk through and dispel it, through and dispel it, through and dispel it, to find the illusion of it, okay? That it is controlled by mind, and you find the illusion, okay? You have to confront yourself and your belief systems on every level, okay? So once you go in and you have all these nice preconceived belief systems, I guarantee everyone will be challenged. And in the end, you go through the death before death. So a lot of people say, oh, that sounds good, I can do that. Well, no, it's actually like a real death. I've had people that come to me and they're panicking. But you don't understand, Guruji. No, I'm really going to die. No, I understand. I told you that. Okay. So, it's the path of the mystics. It's the mystics' path. It's the path of the hermit. You do this alone. You don't do it in a group. It's not a group thing, like a lot of spiritual paths are very group-oriented. Not this. If you really want to know God, you really want to know the Great Spirit, you really want to know what's the essence of the universe, then this is the path you walk through. And these are the challenges one faces. When you feel the weight of the world, you feel the pain of the world, and you can't take a next breath. That's part of the journey. Okay? So be careful what you ask for. If you're ready to know it, and you're with all sincerity, and you pray to God, and your whole focus has to be oriented towards that. Okay, you don't have time for going to parties. You don't have time for social interaction. You don't have time for all of that stuff. Those are some of the things you give up because you want to know truth more than you want the next breath. You want to know what is God more than you want the next breath of life. Okay, so these are the things that you abdicate. You leave by the side of the road. And you keep your focus going steady to be a knower, to be a knower in the end, to have that peace that passes understanding. But again, you got to walk through hell to get there. Okay? To be a keeper of knowledge. Again, it takes a very a long journey. It takes lifetimes of dedication. And again, in this lifetime, when Kundalini opened, it was another 40 years. 40 years of intense journey. I mean daily. It's 24/7. It does not stop. Okay, it does not stop. You wake up and all of a sudden you see auras, you see, so much. You're in your body, your consciousness in your body, your consciousness is above the trees. One second you feel like you're this small, next second you're a giant. All these different realms and lands, and, if they want to see the gods and goddesses, they see them, okay? But on that, I stress not doing third eye meditations because then they get into astral realms and get very ungrounded. Okay, better you need to stay in the heart center and stay very grounded and continue to surrender. Continue to surrender. And again, enjoying the great mystery and have trust. You have to really have trust and keep relying on God and keep surrender along the way. Okay? In order to realize the inner potential, to get to the point of seeing what is God. It's like they say, nobody sees the face of God and lives. So if you think you're going to get a bigger, grander ego in that journey, forget about it. You find out when you go into that death before death and you get to that, all of a sudden all that exists, there is no you, there is no world. There is only that supreme divine being of is, God, whatever you want to term God, that great energy, that God, that spirit. You don't exist. And you see nothing exists other than this divine is. Okay? There's no time, no space there. You could be there for minutes, hours. No way to know once one enters that state of consciousness. Okay? And you find out that your whole story that you manufactured was an illusion, and it's done in that second. That's why it's termed Nirvana, Nibbana, being blown out. You're blown out. Okay? That's at an end. So whatever drama, trauma that you went through is at an end. Okay? One comes out in a whole different consciousness. The mind stills. There are no more running thoughts. One no longer hears a mind of drama, talking, like most people have this inner talk that goes on all the time. That's gone. It's ended. It's completed. Okay? So one enters a different state of consciousness, a different state of awareness. You're in that still point. I call it 0 point balance. You're in that stillness always. No matter what the outer form is doing, whatever it's talking, whatever it's doing, inside is an absolute state of stillness. Okay? Quiet. Okay? It's a totally different thing. But again, it takes entering that death before death, and you find out what you thought you were all that story was manufactured around a form that is transient, but one finds the consciousness, that seed of life, is eternal. I've never been born, I have never died. I am that eternal is. Okay? And all of life has that same eternal is. Not more here and less there. So it's a very, how do I want to say that? Humbling. Okay? There are no higher, there are no lower. It's all consciousness. And that consciousness runs like a thread through all of existence. And you find you are all and yet none. But none of the play of consciousness, the play of life, touches this divine is. And that's why karma is in place. So all these things are known in a split second. Realization happens in a split second, but it takes years and lifetimes to get to that tipping point of that split second of divine grace that takes place. Yes, I know. So anyway, that is the journey for those that are interested. And it doesn't matter which, if you do it through Christianity and the Holy Spirit, or you do it through Native American tradition, and you become like the twisted hair, the one that is like the shaman, okay? It doesn't matter which tradition you do it through. Okay, the only difference in that is the scenery along the way. You come to the same end point. There is only one creator, only one energy, divine energy within the world. And whatever label people want to put on it, they put on it, okay? So, anyway, I'm going to leave this here. So why that came out today about the divine journey, I don't know, but that's the cards of the morning. So apparently that's it's time to bring that type of thing forward for those that have interest in that. Okay, there are very few of us on the planet that can awaken Kundalini and can aid those that find themselves in the midst of it to how to help to stabilize it, how to bring people through that journey. Because again, this is not something you do without guidance. I did my journey and really I had a few teachers along the way, but really I had to kind of be a trailblazer. There were no books on Kundalini when mine activated. There was nothing out there. Now you can find books on every shelf about it. Well, supposedly about it, but it's most of it's falderall out there. But again, it's a very difficult journey. They say it's madness and death, which it can be madness and death if you don't know how to navigate it. Okay, if you get into not being grounded, not being centered, that's so important to understand. And not get into doing these third eye meditations in astral realms, because then people become very ungrounded. Okay, and they can just go off. I've seen a number of people that were doing that and really wound up in a mental institution, because you really got to know what you're doing along the way. Okay. But indeed, it brings one to moksha, to liberation. Okay, and the liberated being, like I said, you've already traversed all of the drama. You know the mind inside and out. There's always a still point that one is resting in, and one sees from a different level. You're just, you're in a different state of consciousness, a different awareness. And when you come back out of it, for the first year, few years, I'd say 3-4 years it takes to stabilize. Those first 3-4 years are just awe-inspiring because you've entered such a new realm. So whatever you see, you can sit there and just be in stillness, and yet you look at a tree and you feel the leaf flutter, and you feel it in your heart, and you feel that fluttering. So it's a very, at that point, very magical, mystical type of a thing, you know. But eventually things settle, and one becomes grounded, and then it just becomes your normal reality. It's vastly different than most people's normal reality, but for you, it's an everyday thing, okay? It's just the way it is, you know. Again, so when I tell people, please don't worry about me, about trolls, about this, none of this affects here. It doesn't affect here at all, because I don't have that type of consciousness that latches on and that you hear ongoing dialogue that ended in 1999. So it's been a lot of years of entering that quietude. Are you ready? Are you ready to go to the puppy spa today? You ready to go to the puppy spa? Yes? Yes, ready to go to the puppy spa? Yes? Oh, yes. Yes, yes, you're going to come back smelling so good. Yes. Go get your hair cut. Oh, my goodness. Oh, so excited. Oh, so excited to go to the puppy spa. So I got to close this out now and take this little rugrat and my other little rugrat to the puppy spa, which means I get a few moments of quiet. It's always nice to hear, too. They say they're so good at the puppy spa that they just stand there and they get groomed, and they're very good boys. Are you good boys for the groomer? Are you? Yes. Yes, we have the same ones that groom them every week, every month. They go once a month, and so they know the groomer. They have the same groomer that works on each one of these. They don't get passed to different groomers, so they know them and they know what's, so they're quite fine. Okay. So I'm going to close this out. I will see you online. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this, but this is not the usual talks and directives I give on this channel, but for whatever reason, those are the cards of the day, and I hope you're having a good one. I will see you online. Aho! Oh, I'm going to try to get a picture of Big Honk today. Got to stop and get some greens or some goodies for Big Honk and see if he comes over today. Okay. See you online. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, everyone.